Hey,
Hi.
what's up? We're back with episode 4 of Dysfunctional Gaming's Talking D&D. I am
Throw 'em up.
Thundercat0420. This is GM Patch Nasty,
Gun show.
and we are going to give you information this week on the Dungeon Master side. We have our friend Carlin, who is trying to meet some people and find a group. So we're going to try to do some team building and talk about NPC building as well. Patch,
Hi.
let's talk about some team building. What do you have anything that you wanna talk about first?
From speaking from a DM and from a player, team building is important for the team because you should always have certain things, have certain roles. For a DM side, it's super helpful because then I don't have to NPC all the things that I need you guys to do because no one's a wizard. But it all depends. If you want to have a party of 4 barbarians who like to play drums, that's super cool. I'd DM for that. I would cater to you because that sounds fun. If it doesn't sound fun, I'm probably not going to do it. But I digress.
We'll cut that out in post.
Yeah.
So today, team building, I think for me is probably the most important thing when it comes to building a campaign. Knowing as a DM what your party's going to be can really help you put together your encounters, bring out life in a big bad. Just knowing those 4 characters, your big bad is important. Knowing that your druid likes to turn into a bear most of the time, put in something that can take out or take up that bear's time while you're working with the rest of the group in an encounter. On
the flip side of that, you could make an encounter like they're going up to a group of bears, and you have a druid that turns into a bear. It's like
right. It's not even. It doesn't have to be even in combat. Exactly. I was just going to get to that. Like it could be a persuasive thing. Maybe your rogue really wants to steal that book from that guy because your wizard needs it, but the rogue's not great at talking. So you send in the bard because the bard's going to go in and talk, smooze him. But the problem is that the guy that you're schmoozing is very persuasive and deceitful as well. So it's going to be tough for your bard because you know that that's what they plan on doing, or they've done it before and they're probably going to do it again. Try to anticipate their moves to make the story interesting and keep them on their toes, because if you don't keep them on their toes, it's going to get boring and it's the same thing over and over every week. So that the two of the characters aren't good at going in and talking to people, and they go to an expensive restaurant and don't know how to do a tip. Some of the best stuff can happen. So if you know what your party is like as a DM, you should also know what your party's like as a player. That way you can interact and try to work around and not overtake what they're doing as well.
It's always
so.
Okay
What about NPCs? When you're creating an NPC, what are you trying to do as a DM?
It depends on the situation I'm creating the NPC. If I need someone to hang around for a long time who might fill a role to introduce you to a villain, bring you to the next town, they'll have more on it. If it's like a random hobo camp where a bard needs to hang out with this famous homeless bard now, and the other people are going to hang out with the hobos, and you make Trash Can Pete, who eats from a trash can. Probably one of my favorite character interactions, where I just sat back and I laughed and I had to cover my face because it was so goddamn funny. But it all depends on the situation. You can embellish
Now, what about an NPC that sticks around with the team? What happens then? Like, so you said Trash Can Pete was just kind of a in-game, like quick encounter NPC. But what about one that the team decides to pull in as a buddy to go with, or you've created this person to be the Gundren? Do you know what I mean? That you go and find and bring him back, and he fights with you for a while.
On the aspect of where their polarity sits, they could either be the villain or they would be the precious term that I kind of don't like, which is DMPC, which is a statted player character that the DM controls that kind of either goes on autopilot and is just there to take up encounters, or turns out to be the bad guy working with the bad guy, and then all your players are pissed off because they didn't realize it. You probably realized it.
Normally, my characters aren't smart enough to tell everyone that he realizes it. So now let's move on. We've given some. Well, actually, let me talk about my NPC information, I guess. So from my perspective, there's a few different things that you can put into making your NPC. Think about, once again, what your team is looking for. You're working this story with your players. You are creatively putting the story together as a team. You are a group playing a game.
So what is the 4 basic characters you would want for a party, and then what would be your NPC that you would introduce?
So if they're the 4 basic, it'd be probably wizard, fighter, cleric, and druid, ranger, like the bard, like the buffer.
Rogue.
The rogue, right. Yeah. Well, rogue's there too, but that's what I'm saying. Like, those are all kind of buffy type of players. Rogues are good from a bunch of different things, depending on how you play them. Yeah. So, or a ranger, because they're kind of, and so you want to create someone that's gonna help the team. So maybe you put in that druid that can talk to the animals because they're going to the forest, or you run into the old man that actually has some magic left in him, and you teach the wizard a couple of spells that they're going to need in a couple of encounters later that is coming up. Or there's just so many different things that you can do to help your team. Or you're creating an NPC that's an evil NPC that the team's going to chase through the whole campaign, and then at the end you find out that NPC is actually working for the big bad, or that is the big bad, or the big bad is not the big bad. Who is the big bad? There's so many different things that you can. Yeah, exactly. The sound effects come in then. So moving on, we're going to do some vocab, D&D vocab. We'll let Patch start off with his, which is
mannerisms. And interactions.
And interactions.
Kind of a thing. As most of my players know, and Thundercat knows, I like to do voices. I'm a little good at them. Some aren't so good. But they come from a place in the heart. But it's also, you can say certain things different ways. Like, that pen is blue. That's very informative. That pen is blue. That's kind of a more of a menacing tone.
He didn't really see. It doesn't like. I don't think he likes blue.
No. Or that pen. It's blue.
Are you sure?
I don't know. It's, you can gesticulate, and then thank you. You can talk with your hands. Sometimes less is more. I'm a big wrestling fan, so you can say things certain ways to get the cadence across. Like, I can't believe the things we are about to do for a bag of holding. You don't really change your voice, but you can show the disdain, or the things we're gonna do for a bag of holding. Happy. Oh, the things we're gonna do for a bag of holding. It's all the little subtleties, and then you take those subtleties and you interact with people. And that's when it gets weird. Because then you got Trash Can Pete, who got a little bit of a drawl when he talks. Eats from a trash can. Kind of always munching on something. How you doing there, Thundercat?
What do you got in your mouth right now, Trash Can Pete?
Well, I think it's a little bit of tuna fish. Nope, that's Spam. I'm sorry, that's not tuna. Oh. And then I would just reach into my sack and drink something it's a brown liquid that's in a clear bottle. I'm a little sick.
See, he's getting into it, folks. He's getting into it.
I like to DM, and I like to throw off that little charismatic flair just to get your players into it. Because you can see, I'm sorry, audio listeners, but you could see the interest. Thundercat, what are you bringing to the table this week, my friend?
I'm bringing Session 0.
Oh.
Session 0. It doesn't make sense because when you start something, you start at 1? No, we're going to start at 0 here. Before you even get to Session 1, you need to have a Session 0 as a DM. You need to sit down with your party, whoever's going to play, set the ground rules, tell them what's going to happen as a whole, as a team. We're going to have fun. This is going to be a silly campaign. We're going to talk about, there might be some real evil stuff that might happen, some murder. There might be a mystery we could work on. We're just going to do a one shot and see where that goes. Or, hey, I have house rules. We're going to do one bonus action for your potion. Yes. And you know what? I want you guys to play from the main books, none of the add-ons. We're doing no Xanathars, we're doing no Volos, we're doing straight first 4 books that came out from Sword Coast Guide, Dungeons and Dragons DM Guide, Player's Handbook, and you know what I'm saying. Those are my rules for this game. If you want to play them, great, let's do it. We're going to have a great time. Or, hey, this campaign, we're going to do all Critical Role lore.
Ooh, I want to play that.
Or we're doing Adventure Zone lore. Or we're gonna do Ghostbusters in D&D. There's just so many different things you can do at Session 0. Just make sure your team works together at building their party. You oversee what they're doing. Make sure that you can link them together as a group. Some way by using their backstories or their flaws. That makes it easy. Session 0 makes it easy as a DM for you to really just get your party ready for whatever game you're doing.
What's a good question you also want to ask your players when they're doing a Session 0, Mr. DM?
A good question?
A good question. My favorite question. To get your creative juices flowing, what do you guys want to play? And then see what they can
as a player, as a character, what do they want to play? Yeah. Definitely. You don't want to take over their creative picking of their characters. If they want to play, if there's 2 clerics or there's 2 wizards, it's fine. That's fine. You got to kind of turn your DMing around to make it fit so that the encounters are challenging but yet still fair. Because 2 wizards might be hard to balance. But work with it. Take it easy at the beginning and then you'll figure out how it works. But that Session 0 is very important, and you're right. Let them choose what they want to be, and you work with them, making this story work. You have the overarching idea of what you want your story to be. You have your big bad. You have the beginning. You want them to get to that ending for the big bad. If it is a fight, it might not even be a fight. It might be you putting together the contraption that brings you to the faraway land to get the thing that stops the leak that brings the world back together. You don't have to fight a bad guy. It could be just the existence, the multiverse is in jeopardy. It's not a bad guy doing it. It's just happening, and you can stop it because you've been given this information or whatever. Get them to that point. That's your work. Their work is to figure out how to get to that point. And if it takes a little bit of railroading, you'll hear it from me. It's okay to do a little bit. You need to get to some spots to keep your overarching plot on target.
Subtly railroad them.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't even know it. They got lost.
Yeah. Roll a survival check to see if they roll. It was a 15. You rolled a 14. Looks like you're gonna get lost. Oh, look, there's a cave. You are now in the Doom Vault. Do you have anything you want to add to the Session 0?
Session 0, from a DM's point, I will give probably one of my favorite lazy DM tips. I don't have a campaign. I just watched a movie. I liked it. It seemed cool. What do you guys want to play? Well, we kind of want to do like 4 dwarven brothers, and we're looking for a lost kingdom. Oh, well, that sounds cool. I could work around that. We'll throw because then you can put in those little things that you want to do and then you think your players might do, and then award inspiration to at the end. Let's say they want to do that overarching campaign. I'd totally love to write that, by the way, if anybody wants to play that. And then maybe have them traversing, and all of a sudden these crazy looking arachnid spiders come oozing up out of the ground as water and then solidify as these frozen, icy arachnid warriors controlled by this evil, beautiful princess with this long silver blue dress and white ponytailed hair. Hey, Thunder, you know what movies I'm talking about there?
Was it Lord of the Rings?
No. I
heard long silver hair. I got lost. I heard the 4 dwarven, and I thought Ninja Turtles immediately.
Yeah, that'd be cool, right?
I was like, I'll do a Ninja Turtles campaign again.
No,
we started it. I don't think did we ever finish that? We didn't finish it, right?
It fizzled. But that's okay. You can always come back to it or revisit things.
You could always go back. That I still have a campaign that goes for Christmas, and we missed our Christmas party, so I don't have I didn't get to do it this year. So it's still just
Triggers and Frozen.
Basically.
No, that's what no.
Oh, it was Frozen. I was talking to someone today about who was talking about how the elves in Frozen or the gnomes in Frozen. Oh, Ossitator was talking about how the gnomes. Was it Ossitator? It was someone I was watching streaming.
Talk about the gnomes.
That they were OP.
Oh, they certainly are. Absolutely.
He was like, they're OP. Who was it? Damn, someone was talking about gnomes. Hey, shit. Kiefer Paint just rated us with 10.
Hey, Kiefer Paint, my man.
How's it going, Kiefer Paint? Trying to get this open on my phone.
I can't. My phone is broken.
Support artists, hell yeah! What's happening?
Support artists.
Thank you for the raid. We're actually talking about party building and NPCs. Welcome in. We are moving on to our past experiences in team building and NPC creation.
Okay. You want to start, or you want me to start?
Sure, I'll go. So, I think my favorite past experience was building. Team building was for Knockers. The Kobold Union campaign, because the way we built it was, hey, I'm playing this character and I don't care if you pick what you pick. So good luck. I hope we enjoy each other. So yeah, that was fun playing a Kobold that was basically Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. His name was Brick and his best friend Mortar. So we had Brick and Mortar. I was a Kobold that was a wizard.
You were the War one, right?
The war fighter, the war wizard, yes. And then we had our bard, our kobold bard, who did absolutely nothing. We had a rogue who wanted to steal every expensive looking thing they saw. And yeah, mostly emerald, was it not emerald, ruby doorknobs. And we had Mortar, who was a monk. So yeah, he was a monk that wore a scarf that billowed in the wind when he wanted it to.
He had a paladin too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
we had a paladin that wanted to kill children, basically.
Honestly, they were clones, so I understand.
It was a paladin that had an up and down.
It was probably one of my favorite role-playing moments of that whole fucking campaign.
Oh yeah, definitely. But we had a fun time with that. I think that was a good party building experience because it was one that we just didn't tell. Like, we just said, hey, we're playing these characters and we're going to make the team work because it's a union. So we kind of all have to be different anyways.
Yep. We didn't have a cleric. So the bard was like, I'm not going to fire my crossbow. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure this guy's hasted and this guy's going to get mocked and this guy's going to get healed.
Yeah. And then and then my NPC creation. I mean, it has to be Barondeer's best friend.
You can't do the noise. You have to.
Ooh!
Yeah, Tasselhoff!
So I stole Tasselhoff barefoot from the Dragonlance novels, obviously, and I used the very cool facial hair bros digging the cover. Thank you, Space Fan. Nice. We that made me laugh. So yeah, I made Tasselhoff barefoot. He traveled with the team. They had to go find him on Pink Feather Island, which was a great creation in my mind for an encounter. Pink Feather Island was a zombie flamingo island that Tasselhoff was sent to by the Lord of Waterdeep, Lariel Silverhand, to take care of her banana issue. He would go there, put all the bananas into the boxes, and send them back on boats to the mainland. And they stopped coming, and she sent a few parties out there, and they never came back. And so the party I had went out and found Tasselhoff, and he was hiding underneath the banana carts from the flamingo zombies, and they fought a mama flamingo zombie that was like doubled. Like, I had all the little flamingo characters for their fight. It was really good. We'll have to post pictures in the Discord.
Absolutely.
We'll have to post pictures in the Discord of that. Okay. 5 years
now, jeez.
Yeah, that was a while ago. All right, on to you. Tell me about your party building / NPC stuff.
All right, so party building. I'll start off I'll just piggyback off of that because Barondeer was a revenant, and he just died as soon as we killed the red dragon, and that broke me down. But I thought about it because he left earlier because he didn't want to go to Flamingo Island because he couldn't swim, and I ain't getting on a boat. Ain't happening. And you guys just bring me some round bananas, we'll be fine.
Space Pants. Yes, she was involved in banana trading. The issue was it wasn't even banana trading. It was the stock that came into Waterdeep. Was it? It was Waterdeep. Yeah, that came into Waterdeep that needed to be like for the traders weren't coming, and everyone was coming to her like she had the issue, like the to problem solve it. And so she just started hiring adventuring parties to go out and bring them back, and that was when I sent out my party.
And then I made an NPC for that, who was Captain Dudermont, who was another NPC from that aspect, but a party member at the least because I was a PC and I didn't know anything about the story. I was a battle master. That was cool, and that was I filled a role. And then when Barondeer died, I was like, all right, what am I gonna do now? So I made Prince Puma, who liked to talk like this. who is an Ergenasi druid monk, which was the same thing I was before. And then I made Gad, who was probably the most infuriating wizard who just did what he wanted because everybody else was stupid them. And then they went to the astral plane, and I was the fast turtle who could fly, and everybody else could just kind of like float there for a minute. And my favorite NPC I ever played.
No, that you created.
That I created?
Yeah, you don't have to. That's because you probably played NPCs in other people's games too. You know what I mean? I mean that you created.
To be honest, I'm gonna go ahead and I tweaked. I didn't create Grog.
Okay, yeah.
I like to do the voice a little bit.
I know who it is for me that you created.
My favorite one that I kind of just finished with was probably Zaphod, because he turned into an NPC in a different game, and there was always that inflection. Like I started to talk a little bit like this because they didn't really know me, and I wanted to be a little mysterious. Hey man, I'm a crazy.
Well, that's how he is. That's how he is.
But as they got to know me, he kind of stopped talking with the silly accent, and then I kind of just wung it and said he was a god in one of the campaigns, and then he was the god of chaos, and I was like, so I would literally just pull hot dogs out of pockets. I would never cast damaging spells. That was the rule that I gave myself. I would do autos, irresistible dance. I would do things to piss off the DM because he turned one of my Grog NPCs into a kitten and feed.
So I was gonna say the doctor from the first campaign.
Oh,
not the doctor. He was the caretaker. And then what's his name? The flame guy, the fire guy from DC Legends, Mick Rory. That he was so good. He used to make me laugh so much. Like out of character, I'm dying. In character, I'm trying to be mad because I'm another dwarf that's mad at him.
I remember making them because I was like, I want to use this, but there's no way I'm going to get away with a gun and then not let my players have a gun. So I went, they have gauntlets that do these things.
Yep.
Boom.
That are gauntlet guns.
And then you could talk like Leonard Snart and just be very serious and very teethy when you talk. Mick was kind of just low and gravelly and called the War Bard or Warlock Bard, whatever she was, skirt, because she wore pants.
Yeah.
Just really low. It was just one-offs. Those are some of my... And the Doctor was another one that I created, and it was a fun one because I took a D12 and I rolled a different one every day and tried to stick to that Doctor. So when I would have the very Matt Smithy, who's very aloof and charismatic, and then you've got the War Doctor, who's like very angry all the time and just... Tennant was probably my favorite one to play, because then I could just be very gesticulated and aloof with my hair.
So we are going to move on to our first and only break. We put together. We have our intro for our gaming page that we just put together.
Whoa! First of all, I'm gonna cut you off right there. We did not do this. We just streamed, and then this beautiful bearded gentleman put this together. So you should certainly check this out.
And then after that, we have our Train Away commercial, which we put together. DD did all of the cutting and editing, but we all worked on Phasmophobia together to make this happen as well. And this is our newest commercial with our new intro.
That's the one with me and Vandal played.
Yeah, you actually have a part of it.
I was so confused.
You were like, I remember you being like, what? Like in one part, it's just like you say what real loud at one point.
Yep.
All right, so let's see. Before we go, let's see. Space Fan says, I'm big on voices. My favorite is an old human wizard who is an ex-red wizard of Thay. We were just talking about Thay earlier. Named Aramandicus or Ari the Brushfire. He had an old man Irish accent. He didn't use doors. He opened all entrances with fireballs. Big odd door.
I got 10 gold that says that dude and Gad are certainly best friends hanging out in the
they knew each other before Thay, yeah.
me see your spell book. Okay. I've got that one. Okay.
All right. We'll be back after a word from our sponsor.
I am your host, GM Patch Nasty. I have a mustache, as you can see.
Someone claiming to be Thor has started a cult made up of former AIM scientists called the Woken. Not to be confused with the Walken.
Ooh, you want to guard me?
Oh! Somebody.
Hope and pray. Get up. Die. Oh yeah! Our lovely producer, Double D, how are you today? You have to push to talk, my friend.
It's the thing. Streamlabs and Discord doesn't play well together, but I'm great. How are you today? How's everybody doing?
I just slowed myself down a little bit there. Yes.
Oh, that's super duper unfortunate. Hey, don't be mean to me, Thundercat. I am the best Spyro player. Oh, don't worry about that.
Did you see that? Did you see that? It just closed the door.
He has the orange hat, the good guy vibes himself, the beard, the Thundercat. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, thank you. How are you?
Oh, everybody's here, hanging out with my crew in the chat. What up?
So far.
I just downed the whole team.
Oh, nice.
Thank you for asking. Thank you for remembering to push to talk. It is a very foreign concept to me, so that's why I am not push to talking. But the man who knows how to push to talk, the purple-haired, pink-haired, the lovely man with the glasses, Vandal, how are you today, my friend?
I'm fantastic. I pushed the wrong button on my mouse, so apparently I don't know how to push to talk. Suck it!
Oh.
Wait, what?
Less than 5 still standing. Let's come back and win this. We lost that one, but we'll come back strong.
Has this ever happened to you?
No, Irish. No, Irish. Don't do it. Run away. Run away.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Have I got a solution for you? Oh, shit, Jesus. Train away. For all your train repellent needs.
Every year, over 10 million people die of train-related attacks.
This is it, we got him.
That's it.
Get your train away today. It could save your life. Oh god. Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh Jesus.
She got me, guys. She got me. Train away.
Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus.
You're twerking?
Don't let this happen to you.
Before train away, I was afraid to go outside for even the mail because of the attacks. But nowadays, I slatted my whole house up with that stuff and I ain't afraid not one bit. Not one bit. Even the lights go out sometimes.
Power's out.
It's them damn trains again.
An application is easy. All you do is just apply to all of your thresholds and let set for 78 hours. And then you're all done. It's that easy. Son of a bitch.
The train's here.
The train's
The
here.
train's here.
The train's here.
train's here.
It's coming.
You didn't apply it correctly.
You walk
Everyone
through the
huddle.
door. No.
Everybody into a
Huddle up for protection.
in the corner.
In the corner.
It can't get us all.
Those damn trains.
Back, you demon.
Oh, it's on the floor. Oh my god. Oh wait, is everybody okay? Everybody live?
Yeah, that scared the shit out
Oh
of
my
me.
god. And that's how easy Train Away works.
Just toss it at a demon child. But how much is it?
Well, due to the current crisis that the government is having with trains, you can head on over to your local Legion and pick up some tubes for free. Just ask for Fred.
And try our new aerosol version.
Psst, psst, psst. It's great for the environment, too.
Let me try that again to make sure our sounds come on. There we are. Now we're back. We have sound.
Hey, told you it was amazing. He did such an amazing job.
How's everyone doing out there? We doing good? What did you think of Train Away and our intro? If you don't, look out for those trades, fellas. Dista says. If you don't follow GM Patch Nasty, Vandal Zero with an X, Dysfunctional Dad, and myself, Thundercat0420 on Twitch. Good. We're a lot of fun. We stream a bunch of random games. We're very, very strict in the variety column of streamers. But we have a lot of fun together as a team, and we do a lot of goofy stuff. So go check us out. All right, moving on to our next part.
Lore.
We're going to talk about factions today. You want to talk about your faction, please? I'm going to throw our names in the
I would love
chat.
to start on the flip side of the coin. As I do, since I like to have a mustache and a very villainous appearance, I will talk about probably one of the most villainous factions there are. The Zentarum, the Black Network, the Black Robes, the Keepers, or the Zeeks, as some people call them. The Zentarum, previously known as the Black Network, was a mercenary company and a greater mercantile organization in Faerun who, over their 200 years of existence, had a storied history as a cadre of self-serving thieves, spies, assassins, and malevolent wizards, who for a time were indentured by their leaders to serve dark gods Bane and Cyric. But over the decades, the organization experienced several leaps and bounds in terms of success, but also major misfortune, particularly for their historical strongholds around Moonsea. And as of 1489 DR, the Zentarum was headquartered in the Western Heartlands, a Darkhold castle. But typically, when you talk about factions and the most infamous, the Zents are the ones that you talk about, because they're typically the ones that will stab you in your sleep and shrug about it. They're the ones that got to do the dirty deed to get it done, and sometimes that dirty deed will line their pockets with gold. One of their leaders, probably one of the coolest things I've read about, Manshun, the founder of the Zentarum, cloned himself a bunch of times, and then he built the Zentarum, and he fought wars against some things with clones as himself. If you haven't read about Manshun, the dude looks like Shredder from Ninja Turtles, but like D&D style, and the Zentarum is like the most underrated faction. But on the flip side of that coin, the dark seedy side, who are you talking about today, the Thundercat?
Oh, we're gonna talk about the Order of the Gauntlet, the good guy, the doer of the killer of evil. They are some of the. Let's see, the way that D&D Dungeons and Dragons actually puts them is a tightly knit group of like-minded individuals driven by religious zeal or a finely honed sense of justice. Friendship and camaraderie are important to members of the Order of the Gauntlet, and they share a trust and bond normally reserved for siblings. Like highly motivated soldiers, member of the order seek to become the best at what they do and look forward to testing their mettle. There are few, if any, lone wolves in this organization. They work together. They goof off together. They're best friends, buddies, brothers, and they're all out to get rid of evil. And it doesn't even have to be a religious reason, but most of them are paladins and clerics of either Tyr, Helm, Torm, or Hor.
How dare you?
Hoar. And let's see, their beliefs: faith is the greatest weapon against evil. Faith in one's god, one's friend, or oneself. Oneself. All three, sorry. Battling evil is an extraordinary task that requires extraordinary strength and bravery. And punishing an evil act is just. Punishing evil thought is not. So they won't do something if you think about doing it. They'll do something when the act has been done.
Gauntlet. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Gauntlet.
Sorry, guys. I got a Thundercat follow. I don't know why there's an alert box up here. I gotta shut that. We just had a Thundercat follow in there. I'll have to mute that out too. Thank you for the follow. To be armed, goals. To be armed, vigilant, and ready to smite evil, enforce justice, and enact retribution. This means identifying evil threats such as secretive power groups and inherently evil creatures, watching over them, and being ready to attack the moment they misbehave. These are always retributive strikes, never preemptive. So I wanted to talk about a couple of order members that are notable in the Dungeons and Dragons lore.
Do that to me one more time. Sorry, I Captain Tina. It was in my head.
Savra Bellambranta. You know who Savra is from.
I think so. It sounds familiar.
That's from Tomb of Annihilation. This Tyran knight was a noblewoman of the storied Bellambranta family of Waterdeep. Anthar Froom, you also know.
Anthar Froom.
He is a jovial paladin of Torm, headed to Elturel in the chapter of the Order. He's headed the Elturel chapter of the Order in Rise of Tiamat.
Well, too bad he's in hell now.
Sir Barrick Nylief, another champion of Tyr. Sir Barrick lived in the far north city of Bryn Shander, which is in 10 towns.
Yep. That's way out there.
Yeah, which is in the new book that just came out.
Rise of the Frost Maiden.
Yes. Laniver Strail, a well-known and highly respected member of the Order and an adherent of Tyr. Lived in Neverwinter.
That's why I know the name.
Javen Tarmakos, the former member, found fault with the Gauntlet and founded the Order of the Gilded Eye.
Ooh.
And then I tried to look up the Gilded Eye on this wiki, and it wasn't there. It had no information. It looks like I might have to write a homebrew about it. Preceptor Therachist, an Order representative who operated out of the Protector's Enclave, District of Neverwinter. And this last one you also should know is Darren Edermath, a formerly active half-elf member of the Order. Retired in Phandalin and started tending to an orchard there.
Yep.
His apple orchard.
Yep.
So that's some notable people. The Order has been around for...
ever.
Most of the Forgotten Realms 15th century was founded of the Forgotten Realms. So that's most of the stuff from after the spell plague.
Yep.
Aha. Going back and thinking about those R.A. Salvatore books.
Great reads if you haven't read them.
Yes, go read those. And that's my lore on Order of the Gauntlet.
I was never a member of those. I was always Enclave or the Harpers because those were always fun.
Yep.
Or the Flaming Fist.
What was the one? What is the other one that you just joined with 2?
Oh, my notebook's in my bag, but the cult I joined?
The cult, yeah. They're the fist too, but they're not they're something else. They're not the flaming fist, they're something else.
No, I forgot what it was. Hold on. Here.
All right.
Of the I'm good player. The Fist Forge.
The Fist Forge.
Yep, no vanity, no pride. Give up worldy, stingy. I'm trying to decipher.
Stingies.
Yep. Knowledge is power. That's right.
It was Space Pants that follow. Thank you for the follow, Space Pants.
Space Pants.
I do love that. So good. Like one of my favorite videos ever.
But
moving on to Creation Zone. We are going to make our gnome friend Carlin her party.
Who is she going to meet towards Candlekeep?
So I think if she heads to Candlekeep, she'll meet someone that is either trying to get in or on their way out.
Yep.
And do you think it would be better if it was on the way out? Only because I was thinking like she tries to get in and they don't let her in, and that person's coming out and that person is like, "Hey, I can get you. I'm going to get a book. Like I'm on my way to get a book."
Yeah, I like that.
Because I'm coming back in a month when they let me back in to bring it, and I'm bringing that book with me. So I'll have you as my apprentice or something. Since you want to get in so bad. Hi, Beth. So okay,
I like that.
So we just have to figure a race and a class for this person.
We're gonna say human.
Okay, let me start typing this stuff up.
Let's see, what class should we make this? Order of the Gauntlet. So
It
Paladin.
doesn't have to be Order of the Gauntlet. It could be someone else coming out that was there that enjoys reading.
It's a sorcerer, member of the Zentarum, who's off to find a book. He is a human
Sorcerer, Zentarum.
Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna go with the DM book, and we're gonna roll some dice.
Nice.
So let's.
I also have Xanathars, which helps with this stuff, I think, too.
Oh, we're gonna do a name. Name is always from Xanathars.
Okay,
I love that. All right, so
hi Beth from chat. Spaceman says hi Beth.
So their appearance. We'll roll the magic D20, the Matt Mercer D20 from the Critical Role shop.
Okay.
11. They've got a birthmark. Where is that birthmark, Thundercat?
It has to be visible for it to work, I think. Unless it's a birthmark that they... What if it's something that they try to hide with like a kerchief or something?
And you can see like bits of it like coming up.
Stick it up over.
Let's say
birthmark
it's like
on their neck. Is it large?
It's a large, greenish,
large. Okay.
discoloration. That's a birthmark, quote unquote. They don't know much.
It could be something that happened when they were young. We just don't know. Green birthmark in quotations.
Mm-hmm.
On neck.
I'm not even gonna roll for the abilities, because it's a sorcerer. So they're charismatic, AF, persuasive, forceful, a born leader. Maybe the next Manchun. Who knows? I will roll for the low ability and not take a stick.
Spaceman says, human spell slinger named Esteban Sumner.
I like the name.
You know what? I'll keep the last name because I really like that last name. Esteban might have to change.
All right, so the low stat will not be charisma. The low stat will not be charisma. All right, the low stat is going to be, they're not that bright. They are dim-witted and slow. They are not that intelligent.
So that sorcerer is trying to get books for someone else because it wouldn't make sense. Like they're going in and like, all right, they're not reading the book. Like they're waiting for, maybe they have to come back to get it after it's getting copied to pick it up.
Maybe they're the person, they're the patsy who's going to pick up for this other person.
They're the gopher. They're the gopher.
Hi there, friend. I'm
Go
smart
for this.
and I'm pretty.
Okay. All right,
I'm
roll
not
me a
that
D.
bright, though.
Roll me a D100.
D100. Okay. Other Matt Mercer dice. Here we go. That's an 8. That's a D100. I got a 92.
Quintillion
Sumner. His parents were smart, but he is not.
Maybe they were part of the. They're part of the Zentarum too, and he's trying to prove himself.
I love it. I love it. There's the backstory already planned for Quintillion.
Parents are smart. He's not.
I got to roll a talent. Here it comes. Let's use the gemstone dice. Got 16. Makes sense for a dim-witted guy. He's real good at darts and skipping rocks. Right?
First off, I think we should switch to what I wrote, because I wrote farts instead of darts. He's good at farts.
I like it.
Skipping rocks.
Typos are the best. We'll run with it. You should see what he does when he puts the oh, okay. We'll save that for actual game. Oh boy. Here comes the D&D topic.
I'm here. I'm only good at 2 things:
skipping rocks and farting. And I'm all out of farts. All right. He's got. So here comes the mannerisms. 15. He stares into the distance while he's
No, that's when he's farting. When he's farting.
What you doing? You know, getting hashtag things. All right. Interactions with others.
Why did we make this guy so like dull?
I'm rolling dice, man.
I know the dice are really turning it. Really turning the sorcerer. He was supposed to be the smart one walking out of the library like, let's go. We're going to go get another book or we're going back in to read.
Apparently, I don't have enough books to go into a library.
We're slowly going the opposite way.
All right. He will interact. A 7. Makes sense. He's honest. He's an honest person. He's very truthful.
But makes him not very. That's why he's not bright, because he's a Zentarum agent. They're not the most truthful. He's honest to a fault.
All right. Here comes one that we don't really use that much. There's no table to roll on. What do they have for useful knowledge? What's going to be important to our hero of the story? What
she wants to get into Candlekeep.
Yep. Why?
She wants to find that book that her god is telling, her brain person is telling her to get, and she can't get in there without a book. And this guy, Quintillion, says that he's going to find a book so he can get back in to get a book that he got the wrong book. He's got the wrong book under his arm.
I done messed up. I gotta go back. I like it. Perfect. So he knows where to get books. He knows how to get in. He knows how to get into Candlekeep, and she doesn't. I know a good bookshop in town.
So I'll write in quotations, I know how to get into Candlekeep. That's it, though. That's all he knows.
Right? All right, here we go. Ideals. We're going to pick an alignment here real quick. This Zentarum agent who's not that bright.
He's got to be neutral or chaotic, because he's not that bright. Maybe chaotic neutral?
Chaotic neutral. Okay. I'll roll 2d6. The first d6, these are his ideals. For chaotic, he's very whimsy. Like, let's keep it like.
Makes sense. And
then neutral. This is where it's going to get weird. A 3. Live and let live. I love it.
You couldn't make this write this any better.
Oh well, I got the wrong book. I got to go back to a bookshop.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all right. Well, think about it this way. I'm gonna get a lot walking it.
Next time, I'll just go ahead and write a book.
All right, hold on 1 second. All right. All right. So that's it, right?
No, I got 2 more. I got bonds.
Okay.
So we'll roll a d10. We'll use the percentile die. A 4. He's loyal to a benefactor, patron, or employer. So he's very loyal
to the Zentarum.
Damn right. Why wouldn't you be? Here comes my favorite one. The flaw or secret. Rolling a d12.
Just going to add on to the flaws that he already has.
I got a 2. He enjoys decadent pleasures while he's skipping rocks and farting.
I think
he eats so much expensive meat.
It's the decadent pleasures. So he likes luxurious hand oils,
cheeses,
and cheese, and specific foods. Like he likes cheese, but it has to be it can't be goat cheese. Anything but goat cheese.
Well, or hard cheeses. Hard cheeses are really hard on my teeth.
Nothing too sour.
Yeah, nothing sour. Just like a nice creamy one that's like almost like buttery and velvety when you put it in your mouth. I don't know why I went southern with them, but it's happened. And that's everything for that.
Do sorcerers have to follow? Sorcerers have to follow the material and all that stuff, components and all that stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So they still have to talk when they say the spells if they have to talk, right?
Yo, absolutely. Coming to Yeehaw. Bang.
You ready for this magic missile?
Throwing up my leg and shooting one underneath.
It's pew pew. Spice Pants says he's a foot guy. His weak spot is women's feet. Advantage of all persuasion checks against him when barefoot.
I like it. Perfect.
Yeah, we can play with that.
That's why he tells her all this information, because he walks up barefoot because she's a gnome. Space Pants. Shout out to Space Pants. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for that idea.
Expensive oils.
Hands and feet.
Cheeses. Hands and feet. Well, he puts them on his hands because he wants his hands to be nice and soft when he touches feet.
But he also likes really expensive feet lotion because, that just...
Yes, he has to put, expensive oils / feet lotions. He's so weird.
He's the most obscure,
he's so weird.
Thank you, D&D, for
I'm
giving us...
Space Pants, woo! It's so weird. It's such a weirdo. This would get to one of those points, like if a player tried to play this character, I'd be like, kind of pushing a little boundaries here.
I like feet.
I like the feet.
Yeah. What can I say? Quintillion. I like feet. All right. Who is
It's not, and you know what? It's not even women's feet. It's
feet.
People's any humanoid feet.
There could be a good bovine foot.
No, humanoid feet. Because we're gonna stick to humanoid races for feet. So it could be goblin feet. It could be
anything with toes.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. There's not many. It could be. Oh, friggin' what are the feet things? The little ones that have the little feet that walk. The feet with the those are dogs with brains.
Yeah, they got feet. They're fucking.
You just need to accept the rules.
Yes, if you have not accepted, we need to figure out how to make it so it tells people.
Oh, the waiting room is to get pulled into the Discord call, but we're in the middle of the podcast.
We'll be doing community things on a Saturday, but we'll talk about that in just a minute.
Next Friday. Next Friday is community night.
Uh,
All right, so yeah, he
Uh,
likes people's feet. He likes feet with toes.
who's
That's
gonna
it.
be traveling with him to make sure that he doesn't get into trouble? Because he already screams like he's gonna get into trouble.
He needs a man following him, like someone looking after, or a mother, some sort of mommy guard.
Barbarian. Do you want to stretch it? You want to do like I do like to do there, Thundercat? Close your eyes. Picture this barbarian.
I already had one in my mind.
What do you got? What do you got?
Before, when I was thinking like someone that could guard him, in that it's either a half orc,
I like it.
a half orc barbarian, which is already awesome, or a female dwarf who's just rough and rowdy.
Nanny barbarian. I like it.
Yes, she's been through a few things. Like she's the one that's probably more beat up. Like she's probably
Close my eyes. Close them. It helps.
She's probably going to always be 3 steps behind, keeping an eye on all of his and she doesn't work for the Zentarum. That way she's bought and paid for by the parents, who are
hirelings.
Yes, who are more worried about their son being out there alone when he's not the brightest.
Now, does she have one of those Fran Drescher type voices? Because she's a nanny. What is
No.
she very?
She's not Mrs. Doubtfire. No,
Not
she's
very
not Mrs.
Doubtfire either?
Nope,
All right.
she's not that one either.
Oh, she's kind of like Yasha from Critical Role, like that type of
Yeah,
voice?
she's more like just
Okay.
walk. Or what's her the NPC that was in the first season, the dwarf.
Oh, Kira. Was it Kira?
Kira. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a badass.
fucking badass.
Badass, yes.
Mommy Pike.
Yep.
He's traveling with Bree. Bree was a mommy cleric, but she wasn't. Just turn her into a barbarian. It'll work. It'll work. Just go with it.
She's not. She's a halfling.
Well, it works. It's even better because she's shorter than him, and she's like.
Well, I mean, a dwarf's still shorter, but
Anyway, what
I
does she
don't
look
know.
like?
I can't see a halfling. They have to be more imposing. Halflings just. I know they can hit hard, but I don't think they're imposing.
I mean, if you have a double-sided axe, you're certainly imposing. That does a d12 of damage, baby.
I know it does a d12 of damage, but it's still the size of my hand compared to a half orc who's standing at 6'8", 7'2", like 300 pounds with an axe that's the size of my body.
Now, here's the question there, Thundercat. Do you want to leave it up to the chat, or do you want to leave it up to dice? I see the brain pondering.
I saw.
Both
Well,
are-
I looked out at the chat and I saw that Vandal was in there too, and I just know that Vandal's in here and
collusion.
Yeah. Let's give the chat. Let's give it to the
All right.
chat. While the chat is deciding, can we put a poll up?
I have Zentarum.
Vandal, can you put a poll up that
No, we're not affiliate yet. We can't put up a poll. I don't think.
Oh, you can't put up a poll. You should be able to.
I don't know. I don't know.
Let me know if you can put up a poll, Vandal.
Because the options are, was it dwarf? And
Dwarf,
half-orc.
half orc,
Mm-mm.
and
What's the dwarf?
halfling. Well, you said Bree.
Oh, well, yeah, I know, but do you really want to see? Like, yeah, let's fuck it.
Well, we could
Halfling.
put in more races in there too.
Let's do an elf. Let's throw in shits and giggles. Those 4. Half orc, dwarf.
Oh, unrecognized command.
Yep. I think it's because it's affiliate status.
All right, so half orc or dwarf. Chat, and during that we'll pick the traits.
All right. Well, I'm not even gonna roll for these ones. So appearance. What is this? Oh, we can't go that. How is this thing gonna talk?
Barbarian.
Don't even need to Don't even need to know a race. I'm thinking
it's very short. Like
Draxi. Just yeah.
sure. Yeah, that's probably good.
2.
Can I get you a drink?
It's just a simple. It could be even not even verbal, just little.
Or grog.
Yep. Oh, ale, please. Fix him.
Short phrases. Rough. Racks like
Argumentative. That's gonna. They'll be very Abbott and Costello-y.
Only argues with what's his name, Quintilian.
Yep.
Argumentative.
Let's go back to page 89.
With Quintilian.
Let's see, we've hit mannerisms, talent. You know what? Let's say they speak several languages fluently.
Speaks. That makes sense.
Right? They're a hireling. Mannerisms, we got interactions, ideals, greed. Screams to me.
Greed,
and live and let live. Neutral evil.
Yeah, more of a mercenary.
Mm-hmm. And then, once again, they will also have the same bond as that person, loyal to a benefactor, patron, or employer.
Loyal to the Quint's family.
Whoever pays them.
Loyal to the money.
Yep, exactly. And you know what? We're gonna go for a flaw or a secret. We're gonna go envies another creature's possessions or station, and they're gonna have a secret disdain for Quintilian because his family is rich and they're a part of the Zents.
All right, read that one more time.
They
envies another creature's, what is it?
Possessions or station.
Possessions.
Station is really the big key because it's like, oh, I do all this work and this kid's just got his parents to get him into the Zents. This is bullshit. Bullshit.
And it's not even just at him, it's more at like the whole entire establishment above him, right? Too. So it's like she's doing it for the money, which keeps her loyal.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't
but
she hates it.
Money.
So that's why she's so disgruntled all the time during the just
love it.
The higher statuses. And Quint having money, having status,
being wealthy, being upper class,
and having status. And okay, so we're kind of running long on this. So we got dwarf, by the way, as our chat, and Basepant says, but it's Dorothy from Golden Girls.
Oh, she's an old dwarf. I like it.
No, yeah. If she's a dwarf, she has to be older. She's been through 300 years, 400 years of just being a mercenary, and she's still alive. She's scarred everywhere. Like, she's just, because she's a barbarian, she's just beat up and cool.
Perfect.
All right, now we need a name I need a D100.
All right, so first name.
Sure that's the.
Oh, yeah, it's always a D100. I know these charts. So, first name or are we going last name?
We're going to do first name.
First name, my dice are hot tonight. Let's see what we got. I got triple zeros. That's 100.
Nice.
So, this dwarf is going to start with a Z. I already love it. We got Quintilian and...
Dwarf, female. Jurgen.
Jurgen? All right, I love it.
Yurgunn.
Jurgen. All right. And then for a last name,
Clan name.
Jurgen 45.
Goblin Bane.
Jurgen Goblinbane is my name. How dare you tread upon my lands and not carry any coin for me to take from you?
That's what dwarves sound like in the Faerun.
Well, it's a little bit Slavic too.
They're
Absolutely. It depends on your dwarf. You have your Undermountain dwarfs, which kind of talk a little Scottish and a little bit Irish, and then you got your Slavic ones, who this one is a little bit alike.
Cool. All right. Well, we're gonna stop the creation zone there. We have 2 NPC / player character party members that we made for our friend Carlin. Yay. So right now we have Carlin, who's a gnome. She's 60 years old. She is 3.2. She has rosy cheeks, a bulbous nose, but it's kind of pointed in the front. She has green eyes, wild red frizzy hair. She's always gesticulating or counting mindlessly. You just see her kind of like 1, 2, 3. Or like scratching her face, touching her ear, something. She is calm, pretty calm though. Like when it comes to like conversation. She wears a brown drab coat, some riding boots, and pants with leather armor made of pelts and hide. Lives in the Cloakwood Forest, which is right outside Candlekeep. It looks like a small town village, overgrowth. And there's with an old lady in rags that lives there. Our friend the Tasmanian, Agatha, the elf. She is 500 years old. She doesn't speak many real words. She has gray straw hair, wears a Grandpa Joe nightgown, and she speaks in tongues. Carlin likes to make up words for Agatha. She often I wrote this after. I wrote, Carl likes to make up words for Agatha, who is now a surprise talking young Frankenstein. Carlin's shack is always visited by small animals, a chipmunk named Samuel Nuts, 2 sea otters who finish each other's sentences named Duran, a seagull named Peter who talks like he's from New York.
Yeah, a little bit like this. This is that's the dingle hopper over there.
She's super neat. So her shack is like very put together inside, at least.
Meticulous.
Yes. Bookshelf with trashy romance novels alphabetized by character. She has a bug net that covers over her bed because she loves bugs, but not when she's sleeping. She has the single female role of a romantic comedy.
So, as she's turned down from the gates of Candlekeep because her trashy romance novel is already on the shelves, she's approached by this very gorgeous looking human with this very drab black hair and this awkward looking green thing underneath his chin, but a smile on his face and a book under his arm and kind of a well shoot expression on his face, followed by this very disgruntled looking dwarf who just had to go all this way for 50 gold just to go back for another 50 gold?
Jet black hair that is braided throughout, but it's a mane. It looks like a lion's mane, but it's jet black that runs back braided. It's so long, she's never cut it.
Ooh.
But it's just huge, so it's just huge, wide, almost like the Star Wars. What's that character that has the big
Princess Amidala?
Yes, that one. Yes, that thing that she has.
And as they approach, she hears behind her, "Well, hi there. How are you?"
Great, wonderful. All right, so that's where we're gonna end that for the. Oh, I'm sorry. There was still one little part. Voice in her head, the goo, great old one. The whole multiverse is at stake. Hold on, I can pull this up.
Please do.
Turn it on.
The multiverse is at stake.
And this is why she's going to Candlekeep. And very calm and collected because there's another voice inside of her head. Which, it's better than...
She uses her gift to persuade people to help her.
That's
which
right.
is how she's going to talk to Quintillion. And she isn't normally in charge, but she keeps the team together. She was brought up with the animals. She left early in her age, and she is the story's focus, but not necessarily the hero. And that's where we're at. So we're going to end it there for the night. We'll be back tomorrow.
Next week. First of all, for more Talking D&D,
yes, we'll be back on Tuesday.
Tuesday
at 6:30 p.m. Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be back on this channel here, Dysfunctional Gaming, TTV. We will be uploading this podcast tonight to Anchor, so it'll be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts tomorrow. We also will be uploading the video of this podcast tonight onto YouTube, along with other videos that we have on there now.
Like Zombo Force, you should totally watch it. It's great.
Yes, we do have Zombo Force, which is going to be dropping its third episode on Saturday, after or before our team night. I don't know what time that is yet. Hopefully between 7:30 and 9 we start, but it might be closer to 10, depending on how the night goes. But that's what we're hoping on. We have our Friday night, tomorrow night. What do we have tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, we have our third episode of Stay on Brand, hosted by Hi, I'm a Mustache. I am GM Patch Nasty. We host that podcast. We talk about pulp culture things. The topic this week is villains. I know I will be discussing villains such as the Young Bucks killing the business, but also improving it. I will also be talking probably cartoons because it's a good media. Vandal will be there, DBD will be there, and this beautiful bastard here will be there. He's got something in the pipelines, but we'll save that for tomorrow night. You should be there tomorrow. It's Friday at 8 p.m. Double
Eastern.
D if you're watching. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry. Double D if you're watching. Tomorrow at Friday, Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m.
We also have our team links that we were talking about, and we have our solo links. Shameless self-plugs. Go.
Oh, hi, I'm GM Patch Nasty. You should follow me, twitch.tv, GM Patch Nasty. I'm a mustache. I play a lot of story-based games, and I like to talk to my guests, and I like to have a good time. I'm a good guy. Who's this guy? That guy. I don't know where I'm pointing because my screens are all messed up.
That's me.
Plug.
Oh, I'm Thundercat0420 on all platforms. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, Instagram.
Yep.
That's it.
And more importantly, join our Discord.
Join our Discord. I play a lot of video games. I like to play variety. I've been playing Apex, Call of Duty, and normally I play first-person apocalypse games, I guess is best the way to put it. Like survival, apocalypse. That kind of stuff. That's what I like. And I do dance parties, and sometimes I freestyle rap, and I definitely have T-Pain voice. I'm always making new stuff.
I don't need a voice mod to do silly voices, but it's still fun to do them.
Neither do I.
Yeah, we can do voices. DM week.
DM all day long for you here on Dungeons and Dragons.
D&D 105.
Bam, bam, bam. All right, thank you so much. I am Thundercat0420. That is GM Patch Nasty, and thank you for hanging out with Dysfunctional Gaming, talking to you.
And following us on Twitch.